Hamza. My ID number is PDL2203024. Today I'm going to talk about the concept of inflation. First is measuring inflation. Consumers' cost of living depends on the price of many goods and services and the share of each in the household budget. To measure the average consumer's cost of living, government agency conduct household survey to identify a basket of commonly purchased items and track over time the cost of purchasing this basket. The cost of this basket is given time expressed relative to a base year in the consumer price index (CPI), and the percentage change in the CPI over a certain period in consumer price inflation, the most widely used measures of inflation. Next is the good and the bad inflation. To the extent that household nominal income which they receive in current money does not increase as much as price, they are worse off because they can afford to purchase less. In other words, their purchasing power or real inflation adjusts income falls. Real income is a proxy for the standard of living. When real income are rising, so is the standard of living, and vice versa. In reality, price change at different pace. Some, such as the price of traded commodities, change every day. Others, such as wages established by contract, take longer to adjust. In an inflationary environment, unevenly rising price inevitably reduce the purchasing power of some consumers, and this erosion of real income is the single biggest cause of inflation. Inflation can also distort purchasing power over time for recipients and payers of fixed interest rate. Takes pensioners who receive a fixed 5% yearly increase to their pension. If inflation is higher than 5%, the pensioner's purchasing power falls. Next is what creates inflation. Long-lasting episodes of high inflation are often the result of lack of monetary policy. If the size money supply grows too big relative to the size of economy, the unit value of the currency diminishes. In other words, its purchasing power falls and price rise. This relationship between the money supply and the size of the economy is called the quantity of theory money and is one of the oldest hypotheses in economics. Pressure on the supply or demand side of economy can also be inflationary. Supply shock that disrupt production, such as natural disaster, or rise of production costs, such as high oil price, can reduce overall supply and lead to cost push inflation, in which the impetus for price increase comes from disruption to supply. Expectation also played a key role in determining inflation. If people often anticipate higher price, they build this expectation into wage negotiation and contractual price adjustment. This behavior partly determines the next period inflation. Once the contracts are exercised and wages are priced, wages or price rise as agreed, expectation becomes self-fulfilling. And to the extent that people base their expectation on the recent past, inflation would follow similar pattern over time, resulting in inflation inertia. Next is how policymakers deal with inflation. The right side of this inflationary policy, those aimed at reducing inflation, depends on the cause of inflation. If the economy has overheated, central bank, if they are committed to ensuring price stability, can implement contractionary policies that rein in aggregate demand, usually by raising interest rate. Some central banks have chosen, with varying degrees of success, to impose monetary discipline by fixing the exchange rate, tying the value of its currency to that of another currency, and thereby its monetary policy to that of another country. Central bankers are increasingly relying on their ability to influence inflation expectation as an indirect inflation reduction tool. Policymakers announced their intention to keep economic activity low temporarily to bring down inflation, hoping to influence expectation and contracts built in inflation component. The more credibility central banks have, the greater the influence of their pronouncement on inflation expectation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amilani Biloski. My PDN number is PDN 203011. So today I want to talk about measures to control inflation. The first one is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is due to excessive spending, therefore cutting back on spending is the best way to handle this issue. For the fiscal policy, have two ways to control the inflation, which are increase in government spending and increase government debt. For the first one is government spending. Government spending, when decrease, government will stop project of development. So when government stop project of development, so job opportunities for the people will decrease. And when people don't have a job, income of people will decrease. So demand also will decrease and price of product also will decrease. For the second one, ways to control inflation is government tax. When government tax is increased, income people also will decrease because tax is increased. So demand will decrease and also price will be decreased. For the monetary policy, is central banks control the supply of money by using monetary instrument by reducing the supply of money. So how to control it? Using a discount rate. Discount rate increase, so commercial bank unable to borrow. When unable to borrow, so commercial bank unable to lend. When unable to lend, borrowers also will decrease because borrower cannot to borrow from the commercial bank. So demand will decrease and price also will decrease. Right. So for the director of fiscal control have a three. First one is price pegging. The government will fix the floor and ceiling price so that the price does not increase quickly. Example, for the vegetable, selling price is 12 ringgit, so the seller cannot increase the price. So the second one is encourage saving. The government encourage people to save their saving in KWSP. When people save in the KWSP, government will increase their interest in KWSP. So people have a saving less than their saving. Number three is price tagging. Every product in the market needs to be labeled with price tag. If seller don't label the price tag, we get a punishment from government. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Al-Faizal Al-Maghrazi. My ID number is PDL 2203016. So, for summary data, impact of COVID-19 for consumer in financial resilience and capacity for financial commitment. A person or a household ability to withstand, manage and recover from negative financial shock is the broad concept of financial resilience. This unplanned event can be related to work, health, change in the makeup of the family, damage to home item or other substantial unexpected of a cost among other unanticipated costs. The availability of appropriate resources and the capability to mobilize them determine how well prepared households are to handle this shock. ASEAN household capacity to manage their money has been significantly impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak in a number of ways, including job loss, decreased work days, and price of goods and service increase. among others. A job loss or a reduction in our work that result in significant income loss has an immediate effect on household finance and consumer financial resilience. If consumers do not spend their money in the market, this will cause the cash flow to become less fluid. Additionally, because of the unpredictability of the market, there has been a decline in stock price and currency rate, which has further reduced some people purchasing power and possibly decreased the value of emergency reserve. In addition, to its immediate consequence on financial resource, the crisis also had an indirect influence on financial resilience by increasing the level of uncertainty and making it harder to enlist unforeseen help from family, friends, and the greater community.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Imam. My ID number is PDL 2203027. I want to present about the business impact in Malaysia during pandemic COVID-19. First is financial. COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on businesses and financial markets worldwide. Some of the challenges faced by business financial supply chain disruption. The pandemic caused widespread supply chain disruptions affecting the availability of raw materials, goods and products. Next, decreased consumer demand. The pandemic has led to a decrease in consumer spending as people reduce their non-essential purchases. This has resulted in a decline in sales and revenue for many businesses. Next is remote work and its impact on productivity. With many employees working from home, companies have faced challenges in maintaining productivity levels and adapting to new work arrangements. Next is financial instability. The pandemic has resulted in economic uncertainty and instability, leading to decline financial market and making it difficult for business to secure financing. Next is customer. First, change in customer behavior. The pandemic has caused a shift in consumer behavior, with many people relying more on online shopping and delivery services. This has resulted in significant increase in e-commerce sales, but has also presented challenge for businesses in terms of fulfilling orders and managing delivery logistics. Second, decreased consumer spending. The pandemic has resulted in decrease in consumer spending as people reduce their non-essential purchases. This has affected businesses' revenue and sales. Next is changes in consumer priorities. The pandemic has changed consumer priorities, with many people prioritizing necessities over luxury items. This has resulted in a shift in consumer spending patterns and has affected businesses that sell non-essential goods. Lastly is limited access to physical location for customers. With many businesses forced to temporarily close their physical location due to pandemic restrictions, customers have been limited in their ability to shop in person. This has resulted in a shift towards online shopping and has presented challenge for businesses in terms of adapting to new landscape. And lastly is people remote work and its impact on productivity. With many employees working from home, companies have faced challenges in maintaining productivity levels and adapting to new work arrangements. Next is health and safety concern. Businesses have had to implement new health and safety measures to protect their employees, which has resulted in additional costs and operational disruption. Next is employee burnout. The pandemic has resulted in increased stress and burnout for employees who have been faced with a challenging work environment and personal life changes. And lastly is job loss and financial insecurity. The pandemic has resulted in widespread job losses and many employees have faced financial insecurity as a result. In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on both customer and business in Malaysia. While the economic impact has been significant, the shift to online business models and increased focus on health and safety have also had a positive impact on certain industries. The pandemic has also highlighted the importance of digitalization and the need for business to be more resilient in the face of future challenges. Okay, that's all from me.